Welcome patrons, and happy holidays! This week I thought I would go over something a little bit lighter and more seasonally appropriate so that all of you content creators can go and make those holiday themed fan creations we all enjoy this time of year. So let's go over Thedas holidays. Disclaimer and calendar refresher. Now, as much as we all love the Thedas world building that BioWare has done, there hasn't been too much work on holidays outside of what the humans celebrate. Or at least at this time. Also, for those of you who skipped my first video ever on the Thedas calendar, here's a quick refresher. A Thedosian year is 12 months, and each month is 30 days. Each month has two names, a common name and a high name. Most people use the common names, but the high names are generally used by those in Tevinter and more pompous folk. Now, here's where my confusion starts. The Dragon Age wiki states this, and I could have also sworn that I've read this somewhere too, but it says that the holidays are at the start of each month. Cool, okay. But the Dragon Age role-playing game makes it sound like the holidays are their own days, called anums. There are just 5 extra days outside of the months for these holidays. And I can't find a source for it being on the first of the month. I don't know if this is just what fans have made up or what, but Dragon Age role-playing game also has not been the best source for lore, as some parts of it has been conflicted with in-game material. So I don't really know which one is real at this point. So I guess technically, since we can't find an in-lore other than the DA wiki saying it's the first of the month, that the role-playing game is correct, but I kind of like it being at the first of the month, so I don't know, you choose. Anyway, there are 5 major holidays. 4 of these holidays have also been associated with celebrations of the old gods, although obviously that meaning has been beaten away after the blights began happening. First Day. Celebrated at the start of each year, this is Thedas' New Year celebration. In remote areas, this is considered an annual time to visit your neighbors and family to check to see if everyone's still alive. It's usually celebrated with town gatherings and a lot of drinking. Wintersend. This marks the last day of winter. Before the fall of the old god religion, this day was known as Urthalis and was honoring Arthemiel, old god of beauty. It's said this holiday was once celebrated for 12 full days before it was dissociated from the old god. Commonly, the day holds contests and tournaments, and in Minrathous, the proving grounds are a popular spot. Other popular holiday traditions include gathering for trade, theater, and even creating arranged marriages. Summer Day. This marks the first day of summer. This day also used to be called Androralis and was dedicated to Andorol, the old god of unity, or better known as the old god of slaves. This day is common for marriages to happen, as well as coming-of-age ceremonies for kids. It's said that children will dress in white tunics and join a grand procession that leads to the local chantry, where they are taught the responsibilities of adulthood, whatever that means. It's also said that this is one of the most major holidays in Orlais. All Souls Day. This day is for remembering the dead. This day was once called Finalis and was associated with Dumat, the old god of silence. I also have no idea how they got Finalis out of the word Dumat. While it's actually more common in the north than in Ferelden and Orlais, some actually dress up as spirits and walk the streets at midnight. The chantry also uses this time to remember the death of Andraste, and they create large public fires to honor her burning at the hands of the Tevinter Imperium. Feast Day. This celebration is just a wild celebration. Think April Fool's Day mixed with Mardi Gras. This day is also called Saturnalia after one of Thedas' moons, Satina, but the day was once in honor of the old god Zazakel, the god of chaos. The celebrations vary from nation to nation, as in Antiva it gets extremely wild with large amounts of alcohol, wearing masks, and naming the town Fool ruler for the day, while other more pious nations only have large feasts and give gifts. This holiday is also why in Dragon Age Origins you have a bunch of gifts that you could buy for your companions. While some give a large amount of approval, there are also gag gifts that bring you negative points. Other holidays. In the Dwarven Commoner origin, there is mention of a name day. Other than that, we have no idea what it is. In the real world, and at least from a quick Google search, a name day is Christian in origin. Christians would have a name associated with a saint, and when it was that saint's feast day, the person who has that name would also celebrate, with traditions kind of similar to a birthday. At a complete guess, I would think that Dwarven culture has something similar, but with paragons instead of saints. Although it's unknown if it's still celebrated, in 399 Towers, Tevinter celebrated the death of Divine Joyous II. As a short history lesson, it was during Joyous II's rule that she called Tevinter's ideas about magic wrong in the eyes of the Maker, which led to the divorce of Tevinter with the rest of the Chantry and the creation of Tevinter's Chantry. So her death was a celebration of the new Tevinter Chantry. There is apparently a holiday called Feast of Ascension celebrated in Orlais. Literally know nothing else about that. Ravane also celebrates Alsmet, a time when the nation gets together and travels to the nation's capital. Honestly, it sounds a lot like Winter Send in that the leaders will settle feuds and forge trades agreements. Village leaders, called seers, will also pledge allegiance to Ravani's queen. People use the day to celebrate, give gifts, hold musical contests, and have large drunken feasts, and much, much more. Alsmet is also a bit dangerous, as it said that people try to settle feuds the violent way before their village leader settles it the peaceful way. It's also described that there is sort of a lying contest where two people compete and try to outdo each other in absolutely ridiculous boasts, and the winner is decorated with wreaths and applause by the crowds. As for the Dalish, the only holidays that are mentioned is one celebrated every 10 years, where all the clans will meet up in a remote location and exchange lores and other things that they have learned throughout the years. This is called Arlathven. During this event is also what is known as Haranal, which is when all of the clan's keepers will gather together, so essentially a meeting within a meeting, and then discuss any new lore that they have found over the years. And that, dear patrons, is all that we know about holidays in Thedas. So the next few weeks I'm going to be away visiting family, so I won't be able to get to any messages until the new year. That being said, I should still have videos uploaded on time because I've been trying to work ahead. So with that, enjoy time with your families and friends this next coming few weeks. Do you still have lingering questions, proof that I'm wrong, comments about your own fan theories? Feel free to tweet me at Gilderton on Twitter or send a PM to user Gillanon on Reddit. Dara Shiral.